Hey everyone, I hope you all are safe and doing good. So we are done with all the comparison based sorting, bubble selection, insertion, quick and merge. In those sorting, we basically compare the element given, which is smaller, which is larger. According to that, we swap the elements and we sort the array. Now this count sort. Now you see count sort, radix, bin or bucket sort. These are known comparison based sorting. We don't compare actually these elements, which is smaller, which is larger. No, we do something else. Now, what we do in count sort, as the name suggests, counting sort or count sort, we count something. So, what we count? Let me just show you the process first. So, you are given an array. This is my array, and you are supposed to this sort this array in ascending order. Yes, this is the problem statement given. Or sometimes it's also given that the range is also given. Here, n is equal to n is what? N means number of elements. That is, I guess, 12. The size of this array. Plus, sometimes they'll give you range also. Range means in which range elements are present. So range is basically start from 0 because it works on known negative numbers. Whatever count sort we discuss, this works on known negative number. If they are negative numbers, you have to do something else. Like you have to normalize first, additional mapping you have to do, and then you can apply this. Directly on negative numbers, you can't apply count sorting. That is one point about this. So range would also be the numbers would also be present from 0 till some maximum range is given. So what is the maximum element from here? 9. 0 to 9. Or we call it sometimes k. K is equal to 9. K is given. Sometimes range is given in questions. 9 means elements are present in the range 0 to 9. So count sort is we can applicable on those problem statement where uh, elements are in a short range. It's like from 0 to 9, 0 to 10, 0 to 15 or something like this, but it should be proportionate to the n. Maybe the range is 0 to 50,000. Then there will be a problematic situation. And n our number of elements are not that much enough. Like number of elements are not 50,000. Number of elements are maybe 10, 15, 20 or 100. But range is from 0 to 50,000. I'll show you that example also. But first, let's understand what is the actual process of count sort. If range is not given, suppose in question range is not given, it's okay. What you can do, whatever the given array, you can find out the maximum element from that given array. The process is not that much tough to find out maximum. That also we'll see, don't worry. By somehow, we will find out the maximum number from this array. Maximum is 9. So range is 0 to 9. Now we know the range 0 to 9 if not given. First step is this. Find the maximum element. Right? That is first step. If range is not given, find max element from given array. Second is we take a count array. We take a separate array or count array or another array, you can say. We name it count or any array name you can take because it's counting sort. So I'm just naming it count array. So I'll take a count array. Size of this array would be whatever the maximum element plus 1. So size of this array would be 10 because range is 9. Maximum element is 9. So we take 10. Why 10? I'll show you. 10 elements and initialize it with 0. At first 0, 0, 0. Yes. So index would be from 0 to 9. Yes. So indexing should be 0 to 9. That's why I have taken the size 10. If you take the size of this count array, whatever the maximum element, that is 9. So index would be 0 to 8. And this will not work. Why this will not work? See. Now third step, now we have taken a separate array. Now third step. Now we count. What we count in this sort? On what basis we sort this algorithm? We count the frequency of the unique elements in the given array. How many times that element is present in the given array? That frequency. That's why it is known as counting sort or count sort. How we count? We start traversing from this to this array and we start counting. Now, at the first index, there is 5. The element is 5. So we update the count array. Now we count the frequency and accordingly we update the count array. Right now in count array, everything we have 0, 0, 0. At first we got 5. Yes. Now see, you can just for now you can just forget it. The range is 0 to 9. In this range, elements are present 0 to 9. So at first we got 5. 5 is 1 time. We got 5 is 1. So where you will update here 5. How many times 5 is present in the given array? 1 time. So we update this and it becomes 1. Like this we update the count array. Okay. That's why I have told you the array size, this count size will be maximum plus 1. Because range whatever I want is 0 to 9. Elements can be 0 to 9. So that should be 0 to 9 here. And 0 to 9 we can get when the elements are 10. So actually the elements are, these elements are present 0, either 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 in this given array. Now we are counting how many times these elements are present in the given array. So 5 is 1 time. Then 1. So 1 is now 1 time. So at 1 index we change it to 1. Move here 2. 2 is here. So 2 is present 1 time. So change it to 1. Increment it by 1. Now again 1. So at 1 index, at 1 index we increment it by 1 again. So it becomes 2. Then 8. 8 is increment 8. At this index 8, we have 1. Frequency of this 8 is 1. 0. Frequency of 0 is 1. 1 time 0 is present. 2. Again change it. It becomes 2. 5. Go to 5. It's already 1. Increment 1. It becomes 2. 9. 9. It becomes 1. 1. Go to 1 index. It becomes 3. 1 is 3 times. 0. Go to 0th index and increment it. 1, 2. 8. Go to 8th index and increment it. And that's it. Now the updated count array is something like this. Here we have 2, 3, 2, 0, 0, 2, 0, 0, 2, 1. So index is same. We have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So how many times 0 is present in the original array? 2 times. You can see 2 times. How many times 1 is present? 3 times. 2 is present 2 times. How many times 3 is present? There is no 3. Yeah, there is no 3. How many times 4? There is no 4. Yes. 5, 2 times. 6, no 6. 7, no 7. 8, 2 times. And 9 only 1 time. So now we basically count here the frequency of the unique element present in the given array. And based on that, we do count sorting. So this thing we are counting. That's why it is known as count sort. Okay, now we got this thing. Now we update the original array because we have to sort it. How to update original array? Now see, we start traversing. This is my updated count array. Count array from here. Suppose I is this at first. Yes. So we'll not take a separate array. We will update it within this also. Within this only. Right? This is one approach. There are two approaches of count sort. One approach is stable. The second approach is not stable. But basically count sort is stable. So the second approach, whatever we'll see, that is better one. Okay. I'll discuss both the approaches. First is this. This one is easy, but it's not stable. Now see, at first we traverse this from here and we also traverse this. We also keep a track. Suppose here we have some index or j. This is j. This is I. At first here we have 2. It means I0 means 0 element in the original array are present 2 times. Yes. So we at first at this index we update this. I'll just draw this here again. We update this. This is my original array to 0 and we decrement it by 1. Okay. Let me just drop this. This is my updated array and I decrement it by 1. Now it's not that we move forward. That 1 is present 3 times. So again write 1 time 1. No. Because 0 are 2 times. So at first, obviously, we have to write all the zeros, then all the ones or twos, whatever is present in sorted order. Now, it's still 1. It's greater than 0. It's greater than 0. So if it's greater than 0, again we put here 0, the same index value, and decrement it by 1. So it becomes now 0. Now, once it becomes 0, now we move further. Now we do I plus plus. Now I is here. At first, j was here, then j was here. Then after 0, j is here. Yes. Now 3. Now my I is here. This is my I. Now see, at I we have 3. It's not 0. It's greater than 0. Means 1 is present 3 times. So whatever, wherever you have j, just put 1 here and decrement this by 1. And increment j. Now j is here. Yes. Now it's greater than 0. Yes. Again put 1 here and decrement it by 1. And increment j. Now j is here. It's greater than 0. Yes. Again decrement it. Put it 1 and again increment j. Now it's greater than 0. No, it's 0. Now increment I. Now I will move further. Now at second index we have, second index means index for this 2 element is present in this array 2 times. That's exactly from this we can analyze. So now whatever this index value, just put that here and increment j and decrement this by 1. It's still greater than 1. Yes. Again put 2 here, increment j and decrement it to 0. Now it's 0, move further. Now I is here. It's 0, means no need to put anything here. This 3 is not present. Simply move I. If the value is greater than 0 at this index, then only we put that index value here, right? It is also 0, don't put anything, increment I. It's 2, yes. Now 5 is 2 times. So whatever, wherever your j, then put there 5. Put here 5 and increment j and decrement it. It becomes I is here. It becomes 1. Greater than 0, yes. Decrement it and put 5 again and j is here. It's 0, yes. Move further. Here we have I. Now it's 0, no need to put anything, move I. It is again 0, no need to put anything, move I. Now it's 2. 2 means 8 is present 2 times. Now wherever is j, just put 8 here, whatever the index value, 8. Decrement it by 1 and increment j. It's greater than 1, yes. Again put 8 here. Increment j and decrement it. It's 0, yes. Move further. Now I is here. It's greater than 0, yes. 9. So 9, put 9 here. Decrement it by 0. It's 0, yes. And increment j also. But yeah, the array size is obviously it's 12. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And I is also done. So we just stop. And this is my sorted array. That's exactly you get when you sort this array in ascending order. That's how we do count sort. This is the basic approach or count sort. Basically, it's not that much tough. But it's not stable. It's not stable. We are not aware about, I mean, we are not keep tracking the relative positioning of the same element or not. It's just that based on these frequency, we just put the elements. We don't know about that. So it's not stable. This approach is not stable of count sort. But I hope the approach is clear to you. If I say that, what is the time complexity for this? How many comparisons you need? How many traversals or comparison basically? So at the very first time, to create this count array, we traverse this. Or very first time, if range is not given, so we traverse this to find the maximum element. All the n elements. So n plus. Then to update this count also, again we traverse this to count the frequencies. Again we traverse this. So again we are traversing n elements. Okay. Then what we are doing again? Now to update this original array again in to make it sorted array, we traverse this count now. Yes, we traverse this count from here to here. Keep updating and then accordingly we keep changing this. But this count is not n, we can say. Number of elements are here, n number of elements here are whatever the range is given. So that you can say m or k, anything you can take. Let's suppose k. So we traverse this, so k times. And that's it. So this is the time complexity. N plus k. 2n plus k, or you can directly write here n plus k. Where n is the number of elements given in the input array, the size, and k is whatever the extra array you are taking, count array, the size of that array, the range. N is number of elements, k is the range or the maximum element given. In the range, the elements are present. N plus k. This is the time complexity. So it's linear. If suppose k is really small, number of elements Here are suppose 100 or 1000. N is 1000 and k is the maximum element in this is 10 or again 9. We have again repeated elements. Maybe. So in that case, k is really small, n is large. So in this case, we can write order of n. That's why we say that it's linear. It's n better than n log n. So it's linear, n. Right, but actually it's n plus k. That is count sort. Space complexity. What extra space you are taking, auxiliary space we are taking to solve this problem? We are taking this count array. The size of this is k. So it's k, order of k. That's it. Just one extra array we are taking. Otherwise, few normal that variables we are taking, that is constant. But array we are taking, that is of size k. So order of k, that is space complexity. Okay. Let's code this out. How you code this? See. Very first thing, let's see, like we are passing, let's have a count sort, a method name, and they'll pass the array. So let's have an array plus size also. Suppose size is n, we are taking n. At the very first thing, what you are doing, we are finding the maximum element from the given array. So let's take an element int max. Suppose max is equal to, we call some method find max, and using this method, we find the maximum from this array. Yes. So it will give me, in this case, 9. That I'll store in this element, in this variable max. After finding max, second is we take a count array. So we take an array count, or any very name you can take. Size of this is whatever max element you got plus 1. Yes, whatever max plus 1, that is the size. Now we have the count array, and by default in Java it will be initialized with 0. All the elements would be 0. Okay. Now by default value of all the objects in Java is 0. If you are going for any other programming language, then maybe you can initialize with separately 0, 0, 0. Now we count the frequency and we update this count array. So to count the frequency, what we do? We use a loop. This loop we run from 0 till I less than the size of this. Size is n. Less than n, right? And I plus plus. Now what we do is, whatever element is given here, 5. Accordingly, at that index, we increment this value. Yes, that's exactly we do to count the frequency. So how to get this element from this array? We can get this element by array of I. This will give me 5. Okay. Now at this index 5, in this count array, we increment this. So at count array, at this index, whatever this will give me, I will just do plus plus. Simple. Or plus plus, here also you can write prefix or postfix. Here it doesn't matter. And that's it. We keep traversing and we keep updating this count array. This is the second step. Now third step is, now we actually sort the array. Now to sort the array, what we do? Now see, we need 2 pointers. One, again we traverse this count array. So for this we have taken an I variable, and to traverse this we have taken a j variable. So 2 things you need. Okay, to traverse this and to traverse this also. Now let's have int j at first is 0. Now we are traversing this, so we, within a for loop, we can write down this thing. 4 int I is equal to 0 and I less than count dot length. It's not n, don't write here n, because we are traversing this array from here to here. So it's whatever the count dot length. So I can just write down here count dot length to find out the length, and I plus plus. Yes. Now what we do? Now first I is here. At first I is here, so here we have 2. So till then it's greater than 0. We keep adding this index value here. So again one more loop you have to write. Within this loop, we write, suppose again while loop, while this value, whatever at this index value is greater than 0. How to get this value? Count of I. Yes, at first I is 0, so count of 0 is 2. While this value is greater than 0. Till then, we put in this ARR, whatever the index at jth index, whatever the index here, index was 0. So means 0 is 2 times. So whatever the index is whatever the I value, that is the index. Simple. After putting here 0, now we have to decrement this also. So how to decrement this? Simply whatever count of I, just decrement that. Plus you have to increment this j also. So just here increment j plus plus. These steps, 3 steps you are doing within this while loop. That's it. And we are done. This will give you the sorted array. I guess you can easily write down this method for find max. At first, you can just take a variable max variable and you can initialize with this the integer dot min value. Okay. Then you keep traversing this from here to here. If this is greater than the maximum element you have assumed, you replace that max to here. Like this, you keep uh, comparing till the last, and the last you will get the max value. It's not that much tough. You can write down that thing. Method of this, definition of this find max method. Right? This is count sort. I've told you the time complexity, space complexity, but this version is not stable. So now you pause the video and try out this. It's working or not. Let's create a new file, Java class, count sort. In main, I'll take the array first. So that's my array. Now I'll just call a method count sort and I'll pass my array plus whatever the array dot length, the size of this array. Yes. Let's define this method. Void count sort, and first we have parameter array and then second is n. What we do at first? We find out the max. So int max is equal to, let's call a method find max, pass the array. Let's define the method first here. Static, and this will return the max value. So return type is int find max int array. At first, I'll take suppose a variable max or any variable name like x is equal to whatever the integer dot min value, or whatever my max is, integer dot min value. Now, for I traverse the given array from 0 till I less than, or I can pass here the length also, n. So here we can take int n less than n. Till then we traverse and we check if whatever the element array of I, if it's greater than whatever I have assumed that starting the max, if it's greater, then I'll change my max. Max is equal to whatever the array of I. Simple. And at last I'll return whatever the max is. That's how you find out maximum element. It's not tough. Now you got max element in max. Now I'll take a count array. Count array of size, whatever the max is given plus 1. Right? Now we update the count array. So for that we traverse our original array again. So I 0 and same I less than n and I plus plus. This time we count the frequency and update the count array. So at count of whatever array of I, that I'll do just plus plus. Simple. That's how we count the frequency. Now, next step is, now I update again my original array. So for that, let's take int j is equal to 0. Int. Now it traverse my count array from 0 till I less than whatever the count dot length and I plus plus. Sometimes students do this mistake. They write here also whatever the n size. Take care of this thing. Now we are traversing the count array, this array. So it should be count dot length. Now, while the value at array of I in count array greater than 0, is greater than 0, till then we keep changing the value in my original array, whatever ARR. So ARR of J, sorry, yes, ARR of J is equal to whatever the index I right now. That value I update. Then we do J plus plus, and then we have to decrement that value also, whatever at count of I index minus minus. Simple. That's it. This is count sort. See how easy is this. Now after this, if you want to print, so I'll simply print um, arrays dot to string whatever ARR, sorry, whatever my array. Let's try to run this and see. I hope it works. So yeah, the array is 0, 0, 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 5, 5, 8, 8, and 9. The sorted array you get. Okay. Now there is second approach as well, that is stable. Now you pause the video, you think about this. To somewhat you know what is count sort now. So you think about a second way, how you can solve count sorting. Rather than this, what is the second way? Now we discuss the second approach. I hope you have tried this out and done this. Main idea is same, that we count the frequency. We need a count array, we count the frequency, and then whenever we update this array, there you need to change a little bit to make it a stable sort. Right. Okay. This array is given. We have a count, same count array 0, 0, 0, and we have calculated the frequency like this. This is my updated count array. Let me just write down this again. So this is my updated count array. Now see, when we have a sorted array, after sorting, you will get array something like this. This would be my sorted array after sorting this, right? Now we know from this array 0 is 2 times, but we don't know the position where the 0 is. I mean, okay, obviously 0 will start from here, but it will be from here to here. The last position of 0 is 1 here. This, the index is 1. Position is 2, 1, 2, but index is 1. I know from this 1 is 3 times, but what is the position? From here to here. From here to here. Position is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. At 3, 4, 5 in this array we have 1. Same for this 2. This is 2 times. So the position is from here to here. So from this count array, we know that frequency of each element is how many times the element is present. But how you will get to know? From this position to this position, this element is present. One is from position 3, position I'll write here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And these are basically index. So 1 is from position 3 to 5. 2 is 6 and 7 position, at 6 and 7 position. 5 is 8 and 9 position. How you get this position? So for that, you need to update again this count array. Yes. Or we will not update this count array, because obviously if you update this, you will lose the number of times the frequencies are there. Or yeah, we don't need frequencies after that. You just update this count array. How you update? See. Now we basically need to know the positions. See, this 2 would be as it is. 2 we write as it is. Now, this 0 is 2 times. So position of this is 1 and 2. Last position is 2. Last position is 2. 1 is 3 times. The last position of 1 is 4. Right? Sorry, 5. Position, not index. Position is 5. So you can get this position by what you do? Adding this plus this. 2 times we have 0, 0, 0, 0. We know. 2 times we have 0, 0. Now 3 times we have 1, 1, 1. So obviously the position, the last position of then, how you can get? Add this plus this. 2 plus 3. So this would be last position 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So like this we update this count array. 2 plus 3, 5. and last position is 5. Now 2 is 2 times. Last position of 2 would be 5 plus 2, that is 7. You can check. Last position of 2 is 7. Last position of 3 is 7 plus 0. 7. 7 itself, because 3 is not present. Same. Last position of 4, 7 plus 0, 7. So like this you keep adding. Right? Then 7 plus 2, 9. 9 plus 0, 9. 9 plus 0, 9. 9 plus 2, 11. 11 plus 1, 12. Now you get this updated count array, which will give you the position as well. Now you can easily fill. Okay. You can check the 9 position. For 9 element, the last position is 12. And that's exactly the position is 12 for 9. Position for 8, the last position is 11. 11, 11. Position is 11. Yes. Now we take a separate count array. So you just forget it. It's not that we update within the same array. For that, we need a separate output array, or any array name you can take, of same size of this array. That is the extra space here we need. So we have output array, separate array of same size. Now how we put the elements here to maintain the stability? We traverse this from here, from the last. This is the main step to maintain the stability of the elements, of the relative ordering of the same elements. And count sort is table sort. So we traverse this array from here to here. At first we have 8. First we check this. Now this is my updated count array. This is gone. We have updated this count array. Now this is my count array, updated count array. Now we check 8. At 8th index, now you have to find out the last position, because we are filling from the last. Right? So if any 8 is present here, definitely this 8 would be at the last position for the 8. So for 8, the last position is 11. So this should be at 11. Sorry, this should be at 10. Position is 11, but index, we will deal with obviously index. Right? So to put it, we just do -1, because we are dealing with index. But position is 11. Yes? Okay, now check. First is 8. Now go to the 8th index. 8th index. 11. We know that this is position. So first we do -1 to this, that is 10. Now at 10th index, we put 8 in the output area. At 10th index, we put 8. Yes? And we keep decreasing this, moving this, I minus minus. Now 0. Go to the 0th index for this element. Last position for 0 is 2. 2 means first do -1 from here. Then we get the index, last index, 1. So at 1 index, put 0. Same, I minus minus again. Here we have 1. So go to the index 1. This element we check at index 1. So this element, the last position is 5. Its position, so just do -1 first. Now you get the index. At 4th index from the in this, now we put 1. I minus minus. Now I is here. 9. Go to 9th index here. The position is 12. Decrement it 11. At 11, now put 9. I minus minus. 5. Go to 5th index. 9. First, decrement this 8. At 8th index, now put 5. Minus minus. Here we have I, that is 2. So go to the second index 2. Position is 7. Just -1 to get the index 6. At 6, put 2. I minus minus. I is here. I 0. Go to 0th index. At 0, we have 1. Again, first decremented, that is the position. Decremented 0. So at 0th index, we put 1 again, 0 again. Again, I minus minus. 8. Go to 8th index. We have 10. First decremented 9. At 9, just put 8. Decrement I. Here we have 1. Go to 1 index. Here we have 4. First decremented 3. At 3, we put 1. Again, I is here. Yes. Now see the relative ordering. This 1, 1, 1. So at first we put this one here, then this one, and then this one. So that's how this is stable. In which order this 1, 1, 1 are there? In same order we are putting this. First this one would come, then this one, then this one. That's why basically we are traversing from here to here. If you traverse this from here to here, what we do? First complete this, then I'll check this. Then Here we have 2. At second index 5, decrement this 5. 5 index at fifth index, just put 2. Decrement it 1, again 1. Go to 1 index 3, we have again decrement it by 1. At second index put 1. Now again we have 5. Go to 5 index, it's 8. Decrement this for 7. So here we put 7. Decrement it, but we are done, and we are done. We got sorted array. But see, if you traverse this from here to here, suppose. So I'm traversing this. First is 5. This 5. Okay. Go to index 5. At starting, there was 9. So to get the exact index, we decrement it first because this is position. Decrement it 8. At 8, we put this 5. We put this 5. This 5. Yes. And after that, once again we get 5, this 5. Again we go to the fifth index. It was 7. Decrement it. It becomes 7. It was 8. So decrement it by 7. At 7, we put this. Now see. You change the relative ordering. This 5 is here and this 5 is here. So that is not stable if you move from here to here. That's why to maintain the stability, we are moving from here to here. Although array would be sorted if you move from here to here, but that would not be stable. We are just discussing the second approach to make it stable. I hope you got it. To make it stable, you have to carefully implement this. Now we traverse this from to here to here, and you get the output sorted array. Now you can copy this from here to here and you just print this. Simple. Now for this, same time complexity is first to find maximum, we traverse this array, and then to count frequency, again we are traversing this array, plus now we update this count array again, so we are traversing this count array, so that is k times. After that, we take this array, and after that, to sort this, we are again traversing from here to here, so again n times. Yes. And to copy this from here to here, we again traverse this, so again you can add plus 1 plus n. This from here to here, and we copy one by one all the elements. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 4n plus k. So we ignore the constant. So basically it's n plus k itself. Same time complexity. Space complexity in this case is different, because for space complexity, we are taking first the extra count array, that is k, plus extra output array as well. So output array is same as the length of this array, so n. So space is also n plus k in this case. In the previous case, we were taking only count array, because to sort this, we have updated this array itself. But here we need to take a separate output array. We can't update the same array. So that's space and time complexity. And this is stable. Yes, this approach is stable. In every case, the time complexity is this: worst, best, or average case. Whether you have a sorted array in ascending order, descending order, random array, or any array. So it's not adaptive. In all the cases, the same time complexity you get. It's not adaptive. Is it in place? No. In previous case, because for in place, it means you don't need any extra space. You are changing within this only. But we are taking extra space. Count plus array itself in this approach, even array itself again. So it's not in place, count. Right. So let's pause the video for now, and can you code this out? The code for this is, this approach was this. So at the very first, we find the max, this is fine. We take count array, this is fine. We traverse this and update this count array, this is fine. Till now it's fine. But after updating this count array, we again update this to find the position. Right? So till now, it's correct. So let's copy paste this. For now, you pause the video first. Okay? And you try this out, to try to write down the code for this. So till now, it's as it is. Now we update the count array. So to update count array, what we do? We traverse this count array from 2 would be as it is. From 1. So we traverse from 1. From 1 till whatever the length of this array, count dot length, and I plus plus. Yes. Now what we do? We add this plus this. So whatever I right now, because I we start traversing from here. So whatever I plus I minus 1 we add. 2 plus 3 we add and put here like this. So we just update this count of I is equal to whatever count of I plus whatever at count of I minus 1, I minus 1. We just add this and we update this counter. This is how we update, right? For next, we take output array. So suppose you have taken here output array as well, or here also you can take int. Let's name an output array of size, whatever the size n. Same. We have an output array. Output array. Now we traverse this array to fill this from last. So we traverse this array for j is equal to whatever n minus 1, j greater than equal to 0 and j minus minus. Yes. So suppose this is my j, or I also you can take. It's okay. Any variable name you can take. Here I have taken j. So j is at first here. Okay. Whatever element at j 8, we go here at that index 8 index. So how to get that element? To get that element, we know we have array of j, because the name is j I'm taking. It's not I here. So array of j, right? And at this, whatever at count. So at count subscript array of j. Array of j. Yes. Array of j is 8. So array of j is here. Value is, sorry, here. This is the updated count array 11. First we do minus 1. Minus 1. So whatever here the element we have, we just do minus 1. Right? So after doing minus 1, it becomes 10. So at output array at 10th index, we put that value. So whatever it will give me, this will give me first array of j. Array of j is 8. 8. So count of 8. Count of 8 is 11. 11 minus 1, 10. 10. So at 10th index, I get the index at output array. So this is in subscript because this is index in output array. At this index, I will store equal to what value? Whatever this value 8. So how to get this value? Array of j. I hope you get how you write this line. Whatever steps you have taken, same in the code I have written that, those steps is equal to array of j. Now we have done at 10th index 8. Right? Next, obviously j plus plus would be done. So, sorry, j minus minus would be done. So j would be here. Okay. So actually see, we haven't updated this here. This was 11 and we got this index here by 10 here and we place this 8 here at 10th index. But actually you have to decrement it also. So to change it, we have to change it again. So count array of j minus 1 minus minus. After placing this value here, now we go for count array of j. J is right now n minus 1, that is here. That is 8. So 8, whatever array of at 8th index, sorry. Whatever array of j, that is 8. Whatever count of 8, whatever is there, we just do minus minus. So here it was 11. So we just do minus minus, it becomes 10. Because next time we deal with that position, 10 position. These two steps within this for loop to make this output array. Finally, after this, you get this output array. You can write on this yourself. After getting this output array, now you copy this from here to here. Again, like you can traverse this from here to here, and one by one you can copy from this to this and just print this array. That's it. This you need to change in this approach to make it stable. Now you pause the video and try this out yourself. Okay, so what we do is, let's just copy paste the same sort and first comment out this. And I'll update here second find mix is as it is. This loop is as it is. After that, just remove this. We update the count array. again. So we start I now from 1, because at 0, whatever 0, that would be as it is in count array. So I 0, 0 till less than count dot length and I plus plus. And how we change count of I is equal to count of I plus count of I minus 1. That's it. Now we take output array. Whatever the n size to that of that size. Whatever original array is given with that size output array. Okay, right. Now we traverse int j is equal to, or any variable m, let's take I itself. I is equal to n minus 1. We start traversing from last, or if you have discussed with j, you can write down j also. J minus 1, j greater than equal to 0, and j minus minus. Okay. Now what we do? Output array, or let's start writing from within. So how we get whatever at count array at ARR of j, right? We just do minus 1 first, and whatever value you get, that would be index of my output array, and at this index I will store the value ARR of j right now, whatever j value, and then I will decrement this, whatever count of at ARR of j, whatever the value is there, then we decrement this minus minus. Simple. Okay. Now I'll copy this array. I is equal to 0 and I less than n and I plus plus. So in array of I, whatever the output array is I'll just copy paste. I'll just copy the array. Yes. You can use for each loop also, or manual array copy. Replace with system dot array copy. That also you can, if you replace this with, so system dot array copy, you pass output, that is the source position from 0th. There we pass in array, from output array we are copying to array. Destination position also starting from 0, and the length is n. So this also you can use. You just click here array copy, and this in system.java class there is a method array.copy, or manually you can also write. So if I do control Z, it's like, yeah, at last we can simply print my array. That's it. So if I run this, let's see, it will give me correct result and it's stable. It will not change the relative ordering. This is second approach of count sorting. I hope you got this also. This is also not that much tough. Yeah, here maybe you get confused. We are again updating this count array. Then we are traversing from that original array from last to 0th position like this. So I guess you get it. Now, if I ask you, what are some advantages and drawback of this? We have discussed that approach is not stable. This is stable. It's not in place. Time complexity, space complexity. We are not comparing this. So we can say that, yeah, it's fast. It can reduce time complexity to linear, but only if the range is not very large as compared to n. If suppose my n is something like this, you tell me, will it work for this? Only this data is given, so my n is 1 2 3 4 5 6 6. Range is whatever the largest element, this from 0 to 1 4 7 9 2. It's not that we have to take 0 itself. You can take here 10. Here we have 1. Still the range is from 0 to this number. So the count array size you need to take 1 4 7 9 3. Is it good to apply count sort here? Definitely not. See, n is 6, range is this. So as compared to n, the range is huge. So range should be small. It's not should be very large as compared to n. If that is the situation, you can apply count sort. It's good. Like you have to sort marks of 10,000 students. We know that marks range can be from 0 to 10, 100 within. Yes, so range is small. Number are huge, 10,000 students. So in this case, better to apply count sort. Yes. So like this, you have to identify where you can apply count sort or where it's not a good practice. These are the constraint of count sorting. We cannot directly apply count sorting on negative numbers, floating point numbers, strings, or any other objects. Okay, so that is more constraint of count sort. And if your array is given, that is a sparse array given, right? Sparse array means like this. So or like this. Like this we have. So largest size would be what? 0 to 200 means 201. Now n is C, very small. So for 1 we have only 2. At 100 sometimes we have only 1. At last we have 2. At 5, at 50 you have 2. Every other element is 0 0 0 0 0 0. So that is sparse array. For this also it's not good. Most of the space is like wastage of space. Okay, we have 0 0 0 only. So that's why. And if k is very large, then also wastage of space because extra space you are taking. If as compared to n, k is very large, so extra count array you are taking as size k, so that would be wastage of memory. So that these are a few constraint. Yeah, it's good when range is not very large as compared to n. If it's giving me the time complexity n log n, till then it's great. If it go beyond n log n, when k is very large, so better to apply other sorting which gives you time complexity n log n rather than this sort algorithm. Because this is wastage of space also, plus time complexity is also not good as compared to n log n. Yes. So these are few constraints. You can apply this in within constraints, within a constrained environment. Not for every array given, just apply count sort because it's good. It's linear time complexity, then n log n or n square. No, you have to take care of these constraints as well. It takes extra memory also, plus the k size. What is the range given? What is the n given? Like this. Then you can apply. Right? If range is fixed, we know that range is fixed in this case. Marks are 0 to 100 and students are 10,000, 1,000, 500 or 5,000. It's good to apply. Maybe you can will count sort because range is 0 to 100. So maximum count array would be 101 size. That's it. Okay. So that's it about count sort. And this sorting is also used in radix sort. We'll see that sort also. So you just try this out first. In the next lecture, now we'll see more sorting algorithm, radix and bin or bucket sort. So now it's in the next lecture. Till then, bye bye. Take care.